Welcome to our company overview, and I want to thank you for taking time to look at our company overview. And this is Brekha Investments, and Wumi is our company logo. You get to understand that Wumi is both the name of one of the products that the company is involved in, and it's also the company project. So my name's Kamahachunde. I'm Kamahachunde, the CEO of the company, founder of the company. You can see I'm also a policeman. The fact that I'm a policeman was the reason why I founded this company. Because I realized when I tried to share my findings, my discoveries as a policeman in relation to social challenges, diseases linked to domestic violence, none of the companies that I shared with were willing to adopt the technologies that I discovered. So I ended up starting a company to show that actually there's so much that the industry can do, to help police, and more especially issues of domestic violence. So this is my little tree of knowledge about myself, for someone to understand why I talk and I think the way I do, and why I decided to start this company. Like I did a lot too, Wumi is also a project now, which means stands for well-being, the state of being comfortable, healthy, and happy. Now, problem-solving techniques as a policeman, I understand them as you identify the problem or the challenge, then you identify the cause, and then eliminate the cause. So those are the three: identify the problem, identify the cause, eliminate the cause. So when I looked at how we could fight actually domestic violence without the force of the law, I discovered the industry had the answer. Except, like I did state, they were not willing, many were not willing to get involved into what was the solution to some of the police challenges that had no police solution, but the industry and technology, in short. So I turned the technologies that I discovered into a business to fight crime in general and domestic violence in particular. So as the saying goes, the UN Global Compact campaign, that businesses be aligned to the SDGs. The reason is very simple, because the global view now, if you look at this, and global consciousness is important, because now we're talking of, the SDGs, which are global strategies to deal with most of the global challenges that society is faced with. Here it says you cannot do the future with old psychology. So you need, intellectual software upgrade, so that you align with what you do to the challenges of the current. So we decided to align ourselves with the global SDGs to deal with these problems. Like you are aware, amongst the global SDGs is well-being, which is SDG number 3. So if you look at the global challenges here in this business, we'll be looking at the issues of clean water and sustainable development. We'll be looking at the rich-poor gap. We'll be looking at the health issues. Number 8, we're looking at education. We'll be solving the peace and conflict, the status of women, trans crime in general, the issue of science and technology. So those are the things that we'll be solving in this business, that we're solving in the business. And if you look at SDG number 3 here, is about well-being. That is the main, but we combine with SDG number 9, which is innovation. we should look at new ideas and new product. So it's all about business actually with the different lanes, not just for profit, but for a cause. And this is one of our products, which is the water pack, water treatment system. Our realization is that basically in Zambia, the report by Ministry of Health is that 75% of most of the water is contaminated with this E. coli bacteria, and so to eliminate this cause, we use this technology because the technology has the ability to clean water of any form of contaminants, even biologically poisoned water. Very ideal for communities. Now, my interest with E. coli per se as a policeman is that E. coli can cause a disease called UTI, urinary tract infection. So, which we end up being suspected as sexually transmitted infection sometimes, and at relationship level as a cause of domestic violence. Where did you find it? So, instead of us, the police, being symptomatic, the industry has a solution. You deal with the problem from underlying cause. So, that is when you look at the technology. In summary, it can provide clean drinking water for about 100 people or members of the community or a military platoon operations. Very ideal for humanitarian activities, nomadic communities, people in war, because they are on the move every time. They don't have to carry water. All they do is carry the equipment, and they're able to treat any form of water that they find wherever they're running towards to. Very ideal in our current situation, like the people in Ukraine and in other war-torn countries in Africa. I'm talking about Central African Republic. So it has an inbuilt laboratory, like you can see, which is able to determine the quality of water before and after treatment. In this product, we don't own the technology as Brekha Investments. We are marketing on behalf of the company, Waterpack, who are the owners based in Israel. Because, when we looked at the technology, it actually marries with our interests as a company, well-being, to manage the welfare of the people using technology. So we manage on behalf of Waterpack. What we do is, any interest, community, any person interested in the technology, we link them to the manufacturer as our part of our community social responsibility. Then our product number 2, the interest is the Academy of a Private Investor, abbreviated as API, which you can see here is Academy of a Private Investor. This is a school that provides practical lessons and skills on the science of investing. Very important, because why the world is poor is because it's only 10% of the global population that are financially literate, and they own all the 90% of the global wealth. And then the 90% of the global population is financially literate, and they only own about 10% of the global wealth, hence the poverty levels that we experience in the world. So the whole idea is to increase on financial and investment literacy levels, so that we increase the literacy levels at least globally from 15 to 20%. We hope to reduce on poverty levels, from improved knowledge on wealth creation in communities. So the opportunity that is here, there are free lessons, free basic foundation, free 8 basic foundational lessons on the science of investing, where I learned actually the difference between financial independence and financial freedom. And I saw myself as a survivor. So I thought I could promote the school as part of the company's social responsibility, so that together we can benefit like I benefited. Many that are not aware can benefit like I benefited. So the company has developed a game called the Genius of Finance game, which is a self-teacher on financial and investment literacy. That those that do not want to take lessons, actually, they can buy the game, and then we just connect them to the school. You're able to take the lessons on how to play this game. You buy the game for your family, you buy the game for your society. your community. Then the third product is, these central parts, a central part, which is the actual company's product. This is product for Brekha Investments, which was the first, and then we just incorporated these. So this is a functional central pad and punchline are used as a tool against domestic violence. So the idea is to prevent the use of the force of the law, like I did allude to, so that we deal with the underlying cause. So I provide the link on the company overview write-up on how this actually is so in detail. Also, I discovered that poor menstrual hygiene contributes about 62% gynecological dysfunctions, which are responsible to about 36.8% domestic violence cases at relationship level. Because when these conditions are grown, they end up being suspected as sexually transmitted infections and the cause of domestic violence at relationship level. I just want to believe the next slide is a bit sensitive to sensitive viewers. I'm trying to show you, because if I don't show this slide, it means I don't have a story. Because that's the truth and what caused me start this concept and this campaign and this business. Because it shows the type of domestic violence cases that I've investigated. But if the community had the knowledge, someone could not have been a victim and someone could not have been a prisoner today. So these are some of the, you can see a woman being beaten there, the common one. Then a man had his man chopped off because the wife suspected that he had brought a disease, when in fact some of these conditions were just grown during menstruation. So did the man insert the knife in the woman, thinking she has brought a disease. She's promiscuous because she was diagnosed with an STI-related infection, which had been repeating itself, and not knowing that, it is just because she was using a wrong technology of a central part. So, like we did allude to, we're talking about domestic violence, and then identifying the cause is just poor menstrual hygiene, where conditions suspect STI. So, eliminate the cause, you use the right technology of the central part, basically. So, these are some of the diseases women or conditions women go during menstruation, which are responsible for domestic violence to an extent, like I did allude to. So, which we intend to solve using technology. So, the product mechanism is just the design, the material used, and the production process. That's what makes this product different and more functional. It doesn't use synthetic materials. It uses purely, natural materials that are biologically friendly to a woman. So the benefits is that we are going to reduce about 34.3% class absenteeism in women and girls from period pains. We're going to reduce early pregnancies and marriage from period pains, because some girls, end up getting married when they're in serious pains, because they're told these pains can only go when they start become pregnant, start having children, and then there are those hormonal changes and the like. So, but this technology, as much as it manages the flow, it also kills the pain, keeping the girls in school. So reduce about 36.8% domestic violence cases from gynecological dysfunction, so that we eliminate the symptoms. Then there'll be no reason for domestic violence to arise from this dimension. So crime reduction in general from this dimension for community safety. And we're talking about, business promotion as one of the interventions against crime per se. Then product efficacy is approved by the Zambian authority already. So Vumi as a product now, not as a project, but now as a product, simply stands for better understanding menstrual infections, that the women will understand in practice and from experience that all they need is the right technology to deal with the challenges they are going through. So these are the SDGs, the global strategies, that we, using these technologies we alluded to above, we're going to achieve issues of poverty, issues of hunger, because people learn how to create wealth. We'll be talking about prevention of diseases from waterborne diseases and gynecological diseases. But, look at the many SDGs. That is how our companies are aligned to the SDGs in line, in response to the campaign by the UN Global Compact. That companies should align themselves to the SDGs. So all we're talking about is innovation in this business, new ideas and products. From being rhetoric, here's what you can use so that you will remove the symptoms. So as a company, we're trying to look at practical counseling, provide tools and skills for victims to use to deal with the challenges they are going through with the means available to them. So this is business with a mission and business with a purpose. That's all about Brekha Investment. And I want to thank you once again for taking time to listen to our business overview and company overview. Thank you very much.